Welcome back to the John Mendola Show on WILK. 10:29 in the morning. Well, North Pocono Baseball is getting some eats this morning. Brian Jardine has the guys with us. And, Brian, welcome into the show today.
Thanks for having us, John.
Well, let's talk a little bit about first up this year. I know you're really excited about this team, but we'll always talk a little about Bill Howerton Strikeout Cancer Weekend. Let's talk about what that's looking like in April.
Okay, yeah. Again, we're thrilled about this event. It does so many things, helps so many people. When you look at the donations we make and how much work the kids put in, that's one of the things I'm proudest of with this event. It really, it's not so much corporate where you're getting a lot of big sponsorship. It's kids going out, and it's the local shops and so on and so forth. They get sponsorships, the T-shirts we sell. We're going to try something a little different this year with Versus Cancer as well, and sort of bring a little competition in between the high school teams, see who raises the most. So it's great in that aspect of things. You know, I'm not one for science, so it's a disease that has affected so many people, and you know, I can't do much on that end. But if we can raise a couple of dollars and help those that can fix this thing, that'd be great, and that's what we're looking to do. So the event's April 14th and 15th this year. Actually, the 13th we're going to have a high school game and a college game with Misericordia playing DeSales, and Old Forge is playing Prep on that Friday. Kick things off at the University of Scranton. They've been great with the new facility they have, so they're allowing us to use it for a couple games. One on Sunday. Actually, we're going to be playing Pocono Mountain East there on Sunday, and then, like I said, Prep and Old Forge. So we're up to somewhere in that 35 to 40 range with the number of high school programs involved, and like I said, we're just proud of this event, how it's grown, and hopefully continue to make strides with it.
Absolutely, and I know you're really excited about this senior group at North Pocono, and we'll be talking with a bunch of guys coming up here, but the guys going to a lot of places and to further their education, that's what makes a coach and an educator proud.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Wins and losses are great, and for the moment that's fantastic, but it's 5-10 years down the road when you start getting invites to weddings. My wife and I were invited to one of my former players' weddings this year, and that was a great thing just to see how well these kids are doing. I actually have a couple former players on staff now. Billy Nelson just joined us this year, Caleb Hicks, who played for me. So to see these kids grow and become young men and contribute to the community, that's what it's all about. And the group I have here with me now, these seniors are no different. They're a group that like you said, they're going to go out and they're going to do some great things and really make a positive impact.
Probably hard to remember all the kids I'm going to reel off to you, and you can say positive things about all of them.
Yeah.
But Corey and Nate and Tony and Mike and Ben and Johnny, all these guys that are with you, there are a lot of positives about all of them, and we'll get to them coming up. But if you could think of a couple things about each of them, and I go with it's a long laundry list there for you.
Yeah, no, they all bring their own talents to this team in different ways. Some of it physical abilities, some leadership roles, right on down the line. Where the younger kids in the program, it's not so much that we have to police them and tell them how to do things. They just have to look across the gym right now. Unfortunately, we're not on a field, and see what these guys are doing. You're looking at Corey, Nate, and Ben are going to get money to go to school next year to pitch. So I mean that's a credit to those guys, and Michael, Ben, and Johnny have been leaders throughout, and they're going to get their opportunities. Unfortunately for Johnny this year, he had an injury before the season, so he won't be able to play, but he's there every day, and he's part of this, and we had a nice talk about that, and I'm thrilled he can help in some capacity this year. So it is just a great group of kids that really proud of. Like I said, they bring a ton of talent, both physical abilities to the forefront, and also what they could do as leaders, and just help with the program. We built it to the point where we're one of the teams year in, year out that have a bullseye on our back, and we're fine with that. And these guys, they know there's tradition there. They know there's a way we do things, and they just are going to keep that up, and they work hard, and it allows them to be successful.
As far as pitching wise, how do you get so many guys going different places? To be able to send guys places to pitch, that's not easy to do. And you've had some nice pitchers. You mentioned Billy Nelson. He was able to do that a little bit over at Keystone and play some field as well. But just developing these guys as a talent in itself, and you and your coaching staff have done a real nice job with that.
Yeah, my staff is great, first and foremost. I have Gino Tempesta. It's 50 years. This year's his 50th year coaching baseball, so that's quite remarkable. And he's as exuberant as ever in doing so. I mean, the guy loves it. I have to pull him out of the gym some nights, tell him, "Bud, we got to send these kids home." So, I mean, I have that staff, like you said. You mentioned Billy already, and Caleb Hicks has been helping, and Nick Bowers and Anthony Duchanowski. They do a great job. And then, like I said, just as far as the way the staff works now, it's kind of remarkable. Sometimes, like last year, unfortunately, we only got 14 games. So guys like Nate didn't even get a ton of innings last year, but had a great summer. And Corey was even someone who's coming off injury, where we held him back a little bit with some innings. So it's nice to have arms like this where you can rely on guys. Like I say, throw Tony in the mix. Ben could throw a little bit, and then Ryan, who had 2 great seasons under his belt already. Ryan Diem, of course. So yeah, we're fortunate. A lot of it's God-given talent, but it's not just that. These kids, they put their work in 6 o'clock in the morning on a cold January, and you'll see kids walking into the school getting their work in for us. So that's sort of the fruits of the labor there when you see where these kids are going.
All right. Well, let's start getting to some guys here on your team. We appreciate your time today, Coach.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
All right. Corey Wall is with us today, and Corey is a returning all-league third baseman, and Corey's got some nice things ahead of him coming up. And Corey, welcome into the show today.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good. Well, Fordham is a fantastic school academically, athletically. Talk about how you decided on Fordham.
Well, I was between Fordham and a couple of other schools, but when I went down to visit, it was just the right place. The coaches are real nice, the campus is gorgeous, and the academics really got me there.
And not too far from home.
Right, just a few hours.
Yep, drive right out, and I'm sure it'll be nice for the family to come out and watch you play. Talk about what you think this year's going to be like for you, high school-wise, on the mound.
High school-wise, we have a really good pitching staff this year. Hopefully we can go with 2 or 3 guys in the rotation, have no problem with that. Hopefully we can rely on that and back it up with some good hitting.
Talk about your dedication, what you do in the off-season to kind of prepare for this time of year. You guys will be getting out in the cold and being ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, as you look out the window, there's 2 feet on the ground, but before the season, usually starting in December, January, we come in the mornings at 6 a.m. and get our work in the gym. And we go on Saturdays and get some hitting in and throw some bullpens.
What do you like about some of these other seniors? Talk about the leadership you'll have this year at North Pocono.
Yeah, I mean, last year we lost great leader, Pat Kravitz, but there's 6 of us here in this room, and all 6 of us are going to be leaders on this team, and it definitely helps to have a few more leaders.
Tell us a little bit about some things in school that you really like, subject-wise, and what that major is going to be like at Fordham.
Well, I'm going to major in computer science, and I'm taking the computer science course this year, and I really enjoy taking that. I also like to take any math class. I have an interest in that as well.
And as far as that support with your family, give us a little details about the family and what they do for you.
Well, my dad's always been pushing me to do everything, really, and my mom's always right behind him, and my sister's there, and she's trying out for softball this year, so hopefully that goes good for her.
All right, Corey, well, we appreciate your time today. We wish you the very best, okay?
Thanks for having me.
All right, Corey Wall there from North Pocono here on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire Service, locations at Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Kingston, and Hazleton. Let's move along. We got Nate McLean with us today as well. And Nate, welcome in.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good. Well, let's talk about all the different positions you're playing there in North Pocono. You're quite a utility fella.
Oh, I would say third base, pitcher, first. I'll be everywhere.
Well, that's good to hear. Let's talk about that college choice of yours and what they're recruiting you as.
They're recruiting me as a pitcher, and that is Iona College, and it was just a great fit for me.
And talk about why Iona. As you said, it's a great fit, but what are all the little things as far as whether it's the major, the coaching staff, the facilities? There's a lot of factors when you're running around trying to figure out what the next 4 years are going to be like.
Definitely the coaching staff. He was very family oriented. He was a great person, and by far the business program there, which I'm going for, was very, very good. They had great internships when you come out, and it's just everything was a fit for me.
As far as this year's team, talk about having so much senior talent, what does some of those underclassmen look like, and trying to get a few of them on the field to put you guys in a good position this year?
Oh, they're looking really good. We have Peter Gutowski. He's a sophomore. He's doing really good this year. And Kyle Bosley, they'll definitely be getting some varsity time this year. They've really improved over the offseason, and they will be a great impact for the team.
Nate, let's talk about that family of yours and what it's like to kick your behind when you need it in the classroom, or push you and support you, when you're out there on the field to make sure they're cheering you on.
Oh, definitely. My mom's always right there. She always supported me, and always, whenever I'm I'm always there, but she's just always there to push me whenever I need it. So is my dad. Ever since I was in Little League, he was always there to push me and told me how good I was, and always made me go right for my goals.
Well, you're doing them. Iona is going to be a great place for you. We wish you the very best this year, and we thank you for your time, okay?
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Nate McLean there, headed to Iona, just another talented North Pocono baseball player. Let's get over to Tony Donato, who's with us today, and Tony is going to head to Bloomsburg University, committed as a pitcher. Tony, welcome in.
Hi, John. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good. Another good arm here at North Pocono. So, Tony, let's talk about where all these good arms are coming from there for the Trojans. You guys have a lot of talent on the mound.
Yeah, definitely we do. Corey and Nate were along the same road going to college, and then you got Ryan Diem coming back actually, and he'll definitely go somewhere for college.
Let's talk about that sub-1 ERA from last year.
Yeah, I was happy to fill that role where I could be reliable, come in and hold the runs and not let anything score. Keep that below 1 is really helpful when you got coming in innings when runners are on, and getting out of the inning without letting up any runs really helps out, keeps us in the game as best as we can.
How about some bats this year? Take us through who you think the guys will be pretty good at the plate for the Trojans.
Oh, I think Corey is definitely going to be really good at the plate again this year. I think Ben will be pretty good. Kyle Bosley. Some of these upper underclassmen, that are coming up this year, they'll be able. They didn't really have much of a role last year, but I think this year they're going to blow up pretty good.
You get a veteran coach like Coach Tempesta. You get a young guy like Billy Nelson, who's now in the program, who went through the program, now coming back as a young coach. And, of course, in the middle somewhere you got Coach Jardine. But there's a lot of coaching up for you guys. Yeah,
definitely. I could really relate to, Billy and Caleb when they were pitching. They're teaching me a lot of, what the game situations are like and how to go about things. And definitely having that past experience. And then with Coach Tempesta, he knows everything. He's been coaching for 50 years, so he's definitely a help out, especially with my fielding and stuff this year. He's giving me a good hand. And Coach Jardine is just all around, just helps me with anything I need.
PSAC is absolutely outstanding baseball. Talk about your excitement to compete in the PSAC.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to get into college. I know PSAC's one of the best Division II, leagues in the country, and I'm ready to get after it, just being lucky enough to be able to play baseball after high school is just a blessing, really, and I'm just excited to get after it.
Talk about the family and their support for you.
Oh, yeah, my dad's been behind me my whole way, and my mom right behind him, always pushing me. I've been playing with my dad. It really got me into baseball when I was younger, and he's just been, helping me out throughout the ways ever since I was, 6, 7 years old, He always there to play catch me, get some pitching in, He's just been probably one of the biggest factors.
Well, Tony, we wish you well, and congratulations on headed to Bloom. Have a good season, okay?
All right, thank you, yeah.
All right, we're going to move along here. We're talking North Pocono Baseball on the John Mendola Show, and always doing some great stuff. And Mike Kowalski is joining us, football player and all-league kind of cornerback. Love to come up and hit you. And, Mike, welcome in today.
Thank you, John.
Well, I know you like to hit on football, so I'm sure it's the same when it comes to baseball. Talk about what you expect of yourself this year on the field.
Yes, John. And actually, last year, coming off a year where I really wasn't too proud of my performance, and like you say, being the senior year, you definitely want to turn that around and end on a positive note, set a good example for these young underclassmen, and yeah, definitely. Hitting is the bottom line with that.
You play left field, a little second base, so versatile athlete yourself.
Right.
Talk a little bit about some of these guys before you there at North Pocono that have laid a good foundation. Now you kind of get to return the favor and show some of the underclassmen what you learned.
Well, that's exactly it. The guys before us, guys like J.P. Walsh, who's actually playing at Monmouth now, set a great example, both in the batter's box and in the outfield, being a versatile athlete. leaders before us, and that's really what it's all about. The kids underneath us, we got some good underclassmen, guys like Kyle Bosley and Jake Millen, guys who could be promising in the future in the outfield, and really just be overall versatile athletes, and that's what we're trying to build a program here where you have athletes that can step in and carry the baton.
Well, it's nice to be able to head over to your coach's house and feel at home and a welcoming environment, that's for sure. Talk about what it's like to play there at North Pocono.
Oh, well, it's great. It's great. And you just talked about that with the family atmosphere that we have between the players. You know, we often consider ourselves brothers. The coaches are not just coaches, but mentors and very, very welcoming. You know, if we ever need anything, whether that's academics, instruction on the field, of course, and everything in between. And that goes right down the entire staff. We have a couple, like as Coach Jardine alluded to, we have a couple former players who are very, very welcoming, very friendly with us. We have guys that have been there for 50 years. Coach Tempesta, he actually coached some of my older family members, just to tell you what his kind of experience is. But yeah, right down the staff, they're all very, very great, both with instruction and creating that sort of positive bond in the program. And
last question will be the family for you. Talk about what they're like and how they do what they've done for you all year long and over the years there at North Pocono supporting you.
Yes, my parents always been great to me. I have a younger brother that always keeps me honest. But my mentor, my dad, my mom, always making sure I'm doing what I have to in the classroom and on the field. Whether it's a bad game or an error or whatnot, I'm always hearing about it at the dinner table, making sure I'm taking whatever action needs to correct that. Whether they're right or wrong, nod your head and appreciate the words of wisdom that they can offer too. But always been great.
Great advice. Nod your head. We all have to do that a little bit in life, and it's a good lesson. Mike, always great to catch up with you. Appreciate your maturity over the years, and I wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, John.
You got it. All right, let's move along. We have Ben Cruciani who's with us. He's another guy who'll play a couple positions there for the North Pocono Trojans as we talk about the baseball program here on the John Mendola Show. And Ben, good to hear from you this morning. How are you?
I'm good, John. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Let's talk about the pitching mound this year. Boy, it's going to be a busy mound. Everybody's going to want to take the hill. Talk about your possible opportunities if you could get on that hill yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Well, obviously you have guys like Corey and Nate who are going to, lead our rotation. Guys like Ryan Dean, he'll be right there too, starting a couple games. Tony Donato in relief. We have a great staff. I can't say enough about the guys on our mound. For me anyways, I'll probably have a couple of opportunities, maybe relief. If we get a couple games back-to-back, maybe I'll have to start a couple. It all depends on the situation in our schedule.
First base for you, and let's talk about that infield, what you could tell, because as one of your teammates said, hey, we got a lot of snow out here on the ground, so you guys aren't outside at all, a lot of inside stuff. But what do you think that infield will look like this year?
Right, well, obviously, I played with a lot of the guys that I think will be starting. We have Corey. Corey will probably play a little bit of third base, same with Nate, depending on who's pitching. Ryan will definitely play some second base, and then you guys, we have a little bit of a competition actually Ryan will play shortstop. We have a little bit of a competition at second base between Peter Gutowski, a couple of the other younger kids. They'll get a shot too to get some playing time. But the nice thing for me is I've been playing first base with those guys all my life, so I know what to expect from everybody, which is is a big plus. And
as far as your support that you're getting from your family, talk about what that's been like for you, and obviously going forward, you're hoping they'll still be by your side, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, my mom and my dad, they've always been there for me. I'll talk a little bit about my dad. Every time I've been struggling at the plate, one word, my dad will drive me down to the cage. We've always, try to get out of a slump, whatever. But he's always been there for me. Especially for baseball, they've always been so supportive. Can't say enough about that.
Well, I know you're excited about this season. We appreciate your time and wish you the very best, Ben.
All right, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Okay, we got one more fella to talk to. It's Johnny Sapienza, who unfortunately got injured, but Johnny's still going to talk to us this morning and tell us a little bit about what it's been like to be in the program there at North Pocono. Welcome in, Johnny.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
Well, sorry to hear about your injury. Some of us go through these type of things. So talk a little bit about mentally just being around the guys, being around the game of baseball, and just loving the sport, what it's been like for you the last couple of weeks.
Well, it's definitely rough because I like staying around the infield drills, and those were like always my favorite part. So it's definitely hard. But then again, it's kind of rewarding in a way to try to teach the underclassmen the way that I was taught, to try and give them a better chance to take my spot.
Well, boy, one more coach there at North Pocono, players coaching. Talk about what you're learning right now, and I'm sure eyes wide open. And hey, who knows, it could ignite something for you with coaching down the road. But talk about that talented coaching staff. We've talked about it all morning with this group of guys, but boy, there's a lot to learn, huh?
Oh, for sure. Coach DePesta has years of wisdom on him, so I've been with him for I can't tell you how long, because I played fall ball Legion with him, and Coach Jardine has always been the best, like mentoring me about whether it's been double plays or how to get behind a ball. And then I haven't really been with the pitching staff, but I know based on their performance that they're doing a great job as well.
Johnny, how about the future endeavors for you? What do you have planned out going forward?
I'm majoring undecided right now in science, so I hope to have a job in a research lab of some sorts.
All right, sounds like a good track. How about the family as far as your support you get from them?
Oh, it's awesome. Both my parents really work a lot, so when they show up to a game, it really means a lot. And my mom commutes to New Jersey every week, and she comes home every weekend. So I know it's hard on her, but seeing that she doesn't quit, she doesn't whine, really makes me inspired.
Yeah, you got some hard-working parents there, and boy, what a great, well-spoken group of young men for the North Pocono Baseball Team. Johnny, we wish you the best in recovering from your injury, and good luck there in the science field in your future endeavors, okay?
Thank you so much, John.
All right, our pleasure to talk North Pocono baseball here on the John Mendola Show. Great group of guys. I don't know that we've had many in a phone interview go that well, but that was awesome to hear from the Trojans of North Pocono doing their thing with Coach Brian Jardine. We come back, we're going to talk some basketball. Girls basketball, we'll get to Ben O'Brien and Bob Bavilla coming up. Scranton Prep and Dunmore. 1-1 last night, one's playing today. We'll get to them next. Let's take a time out and head over to our local State Farm insurance agent, Jen Ricky. Loophole break like a good neighbor. Jen Ricky Loophole is there. We'll be back on WILK.